Vice President OSINBAJO has called on West African oil-producing countries to think of a world beyond oil and to tap into the expertise of private sector that will enhance economic diversification in the region. OSINBAJO made this call at the extraordinary session of the Council of Ministers of African Petroleum Producers Organization in Abuja. Kikele Mokere tells us more.
Declaring the extraordinary session of the Council of Ministers of African Petroleum Producer Organization open, the Vice President emphasized the importance of redoubling efforts at using oil and gas revenue to pursue diversification, investment in infrastructure and human capital, which, according to him, will ensure future economic growth and development.
The lesson here is that while oil and gas will continue to be critical to our revenue bases and our national economies, we must redouble our efforts to achieve the following. One, to diversify our economies away from the dangerous overdependence. And two, to ensure that we invest as much as is possible of today's current oil and gas revenues in the infrastructure and human capital that will underpin future economic growth and development.
He emphasized that a revitalized African petroleum producing organization will contribute tremendously to development of African oil and gas industry. He therefore called on Apple to open up its organization in a way that non-Apple members and private institutions will be able to invest.
It is important to acknowledge that the relationship of our various countries with oil and gas is in an interesting and somewhat complicated mode. It is, for many of us, the mainstay of our economies, delivering much-needed government revenues and foreign exchange to our economies.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, who took over leadership of Apple on June 11, 2018, says the only way growth in oil production can take place is through an independent approach. He therefore called for cooperation among member states in achieving such growth.
And so the only way growth will happen in this sector in the whole of Africa is an interdependence approach. All of us must be able to hold hands and find a way of supporting one another in terms of the research, in terms of internal investment potentials and capabilities, and help to drive a process. But more fundamental, we also must be in a position to have a lot of best learning from some of the 3 or 4 major producer countries that have been in this for quite a long time as the new ones are coming on board.
The economies of African countries tend to pale in significance to other continents, as it is hoped that the outcome of this extraordinary session would help plug the obvious gap. Kikele Mokere, TV News, Abuja.